Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And for today's video on Instagram, I asked to give me some video suggestions of what I should do, like what videos you guys want to see and whatever. So basically, one of my followers said I should do basically like a story time behind my son's name, and like how we came up with the name, why we chose that name, and things like that. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today, and let's just get right into it. Let's not waste no time. All right, so basically when I found out I was pregnant, I wanted a son. Before I got pregnant, I wanted a daughter because I wanted like a mini me. But when I did get pregnant, I was like, no, I want a son. Like, just because, like, I mean, a girl can wear sneakers too, but I don't know, I just saw myself as a boy mom more than a girl mom for my first child. So I was like, all right, I want a son, I want a son, I want a son. And my boyfriend also did want a son too, so we both got a son. But basically we had a boy name and a girl name picked out just in case, because we didn't know the gender, obviously. So when we did have the gender reveal, we were like, okay, this is his name. Like, we already knew, like, yeah, we're gonna pick this. So like, we was just like looking on Google. I would look on Google and I would search like boy names, but a lot of the names that I kept seeing were like kind of basic. I'm like, no, you hear this, like, there's people in my family named this. I'm not gonna name my son this too, you know, like, he has to have a unique name. So I kept looking and looking, and at first I liked Kenzo as his name, Kenzo. But my son's last name is already technically a brand, so I didn't want to give him a first name as a brand as well and then double brand him. Like, no, I wasn't gonna do that. So the Kenzo was out of the way, but I really love that name. But since his last name is a brand, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that to my son. And then we was looking and looking on the list, and I came across Dakari, 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 not Daiquiri, Dakari. And I saw that and I was like, whoa, like, I like that. So when I searched up the meaning of Dakari, it said that it meant happiness. So obviously I knew me having a son, me bringing a child into this world was gonna bring me happiness. So I'm like, okay, I like that. So when I came across that, I told my boyfriend, I'm like, what about Dakari? He's like, oh, yeah, I like that. So we kept that in mind. So for his middle name, we were looking, and I was trying to find something that would flow with Dakari. But I'm like, well, what can it be here? Like, what can it be? Like, what middle name would go good with it? And I kept looking, and then I saw I had seen Amiri, but Amiri is the jeans, and it's also a brand. I'm not gonna name my son that either, like, you know. But then I said, what about Amir? And I was like, oh, okay. So when we came across that Dakari Amir, I was like, yeah, like, that's his name. And Amir means king. So happiness king, or king of happiness, you know, that's like what I automatically thought, like, okay, yeah, this is his name. And then so basically when we had the gender reveal, the first thing my boyfriend told me was, okay, so his name is Dakari Amir. I was like, okay, that's his name. Honestly, like, it wasn't really like we had a hard time looking for the name. Like, we had a few boy names and a few girl names, but obviously I'm not going to tell you the girls' names, because if I do have a daughter in the future, I'm going to name her that name. So I'm not going to tell you guys, because then you guys are going to steal my daughter's name, even though there's a whole bunch of people probably with the name, but you know. But yeah, so then when we had the gender reveal, he was like, oh yeah, no, that's gonna be his name, like Dakari Amir, that's it. So it's DAKARIAMIR. And then I am Hispanic, I'm Dominican, so a lot of my family members were like, hey, like, how do you say his name? And I'm like, Dakari. Like, in Spanish, it's really not that hard to say Dakari, like, you know. But they were like, my grandma was like, why are you gonna name him that? Like, that's so hard for me to say. And I'm like, but I don't want to give him a Hispanic name just because he's Hispanic, you know. Like, let him be different. I don't want to name my son Jose Luis. Like, even though if your name is Jose Luis, you know, that's fine. But I didn't want to name my son that, you know. I wanted him to be different. Like, I want his name to fit him. And I also didn't want to name my son after his father, like his whole full name, because my boyfriend is already a junior. So then my son would have been the third, and I don't like that. So basically, I was like, no, we're gonna find him, you know, a nice name. And I kind of wanted something with an S because my name starts with an S, obviously. But there were like a lot of boy names that I liked with the letter S. So I was like, yeah, no, like, that's over with. But honestly, I really love his name. Like, I feel like it fits him. Once he was born, I'm like, yeah, like, we did a good job. And the doctors kept asking me like, oh, what are you naming him? What are you naming him? I was like, Dakari Amir. And they were like, wow, like, we haven't heard that name. So like, I know, I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's people with the name, but it's not that common. So I really like it. And this is his name blanket. I'm gonna show you guys so you guys can see how it looks. So Dakari Amir, I don't know, I'm obsessed with his name. Even though I don't call him by his name, I really don't call him by his name. Like, I call him Papa's, Stinky Dinky. Like, I just call him mad different stuff except his name. But that's honestly like the story behind his name. So basically, Dakari means happiness, Amir means king of happiness. So his full name is Dakari Amir Ford. So that's the story behind my son's name. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching my video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave video suggestions in the comments down below, and we'll see you with the next one.